Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
I said, hola, senors and senoritas. Welcome to another episode of Phirst Contention. I'm your boy, Marvin Banks, here with T.Y. Sosina.
Salutations, folks. Welcome back to the lounge, Valentine's Day edition. 2 up, 2 down for this show. Keita wouldn't let Steve out. With Valentine's on the horizon, you other priorities took place over the show, but don't fret because Marv and we got you. We got you.
Always here.
Let's dive right into it. Big piece of Valentine's weekend for some folks. NBA All-Star Weekend coming up. Got a bevy of events going on. The dunk contest, the three-point contest. I mean, let's just kind of start with some general thoughts about All-Star Weekend for the National Basketball Association, Mark.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, All-Star Weekend, I think this is probably one of the best All-Star activities that all the professional sports teams have. You got the celebrity game. You have All-Star Saturday, then you have the All-Star game on Sunday. I think it's a lot of excitement, a lot of enjoyment. Everybody wants to see what's Kevin Hart going to do again this year in the celebrity game, of course.
Win MVP.
Then you got this historic three-point shootout that's going on. Then you got these young guns in the dunk contest and the All-Star game. It's not going to be very competitive until the fourth quarter, and that's when teams are going to really turn it on.
Agreed. I mean, we talk about All-Star Weekends. What are we talking about? We're talking about players that fans really want to see. We talked about the Pro Bowl. And again, while not many people enjoy the play, the ratings say different things. So when you see the players that you pay your money to see on the court, on the field at the same time, it's worth it. And we touched on it. All these young cats in the dunk contest should be exciting. Hopefully they, turn it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But especially this three-point contest.
Woo! You talking about some shooters? You talking about knock down shooters? People that get it done from behind the arc, Ty.
Robin Thicke, shooter.
Exactly, just like that.
It's Valentine's Day, so I do a little something for the ladies. I mean, you talked about kind of the MVP for the celebrity game. Bold prediction, you're thinking forward. Your MVP for the pros.
For the three-point contest, I'm going to have to go with Steph Curry. I know I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I like Steph Curry. Coming from a 50-point game just a couple of games ago against Dallas, I think it's going to translate to another hot shooting moving forward, Ty. What about you?
All right, you want to rock the three-point Curry?
Yeah.
Great shooter. Goes without saying.
Exactly.
This man walks into the tunnel and shoots, and it's just swoosh, nothing but bottom of the net.
It just walks off.
There will be nothing but the bottom of the net will be busy this weekend. Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver. Again.
The new All-Star. Kyle Korver.
All-Star. Sorry, Mr. Knight. But as a whole, Korver, Curry, Thompson, Harden,
Redick,
J.J. Redick,
Irvin.
It's going to be good, but I'm rolling with Kyle Korver. We're talking about the man who set a record 126 games again with threes. He's deadly from deep.
Definitely so, but when we go into the dunk contest, not a lot of star power, but a lot of young guns in here. You got the Zach Attack with Zach LaVine. You got Victor Oladipo. You got Mason Plumlee. And you got my man from Milwaukee, the Greek Freak, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. But, Ty, who do you like in the dunk contest, though?
It's tough. I'm leaning between the Greek Freak and Zach LaVine. But I think the extension that Giannis is able to get, I think that's what's going to cause a difference. And again, these young guns, sometimes you need that new energy to kind of light a fire under an event. And while the three-point contest will still be better, the dunk contest will be a lot better. But I'm going to go with Giannis there.
You know what? I think we're 2 for 2 on that one, Ty, because I'm going to go with Giannis 2 as well. My man down there in Milwaukee. They say he's only 6'11", but I'm pretty sure he's probably about 7'1". But like you said, he's the rubber band man, the extension, go-go gadget arms and all. So I definitely think he could use his length. Some people say maybe he could jump from three-point line and dunk. We'll see if that's possible. But
Space Jam.
Yeah, for real. But you never know how long his arms are and everything. So
yeah, again, should be exciting. Let's revert back, to the All-Star game itself.
Exactly.
Who do you see kind of walking away with that one? No, this is a little harder to judge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they don't really give that effort until the chips are really down in the fourth, and it's kind of a free-for-all those last few minutes.
I think I'm going to have to give it to my man James Harden. I think Harden is definitely someone that can thrive in a game like this, where it's just up and down, fast-paced, and especially if he can get hot and get going. I mean, he's leading the league right now in 30-point games with over 21, 22, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely believe this game is tailor-made for someone like Harden to really dominate a game like this.
Agreed. I like the pick. Definitely someone who's offensive-minded, someone who can score a lot of points. Harden, very recognizable. Fear the beard and all that. I'm going to go back to the person that we said had selected for midseason NBA MVP, Steph Curry. Recognizable face, can score a lot of points. So if you can get out there on the wing or, and spot up and drop some of those shots, folks are going to vote for you.
I wonder if Sebastian Curry is going to make a brief appearance too, just like Cliff Paul made one last year. I wonder if Sebastian's going to make a brief appearance.
These things you can do in an all-star game.
Exactly.
And again, something that lends excitement to those events.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to All-Star Game 2, NBA playoffs. As you know, the West is having a lot of good teams out there in the West. And
Flexing.
very much so. And there might be talks of maybe a reformatting of the NBA playoffs. Todd, do you think they should do it? If you think they should, how should they do it?
Again, I think we need to stick with the blueprint. The cool thing about the league, the cool thing about the association, they're moving forward. They're not afraid to tweak a few things, whereas baseball's been left in the dust because, America's pastime. They don't like to make changes. They're finally getting, the instant.
The baseball purists.
Yes, the purists, and finally getting an instant replay. But when we're talking about playoff structures, these things are set away in a way that certain records have to be, thought about. When you tweak the system, you start throwing off record books and asterisks, and you got to mention, prior to 2000 and whenever they do this, when the change was made. Not to mention, you really, really need a true Western Conference champion and a true Eastern Conference champion, and that's something to think about when you're throwing these schedules together.
I agree. I don't think that they should change anything to the playoff format. I like it just the way it is. East side versus West side. Choose your point and choose your side. Even though the East has been down the last couple of years, don't forget, the last couple of champions, Miami Heat, did come from the East Coast. So I think that they should just leave it the way that it is. Even though there have been rumors to say that they're going to take the top 6 champions from each division and the next 10 teams after that to make it a 16-team playoff. But still, like you said, Ty, you have to go back in the record books to say, starting in 2014, 2015, this team played this team. It can be LA versus Portland in the NBA Finals, and it's just something ridiculous. So
it's a lot easier to have a general understanding of a league to where you don't need to asterisk, where you can say, back in 2014 when these teams were in, the East was weak. Now, if we want to flip things and say, this team played against this many games against these teams, and these teams played these many games against these teams, and so this schedule should be, and they were kind of, it just throws a fork in things. So again, I said it last week, keep it simple, stupid.
Definitely so. You never know. Like I said, a team from the East can make a run. The Bucks are a 6 seed right now. Maybe they can make a run into the second round and give troubles to a team in the first round. Maybe it's Toronto, maybe it's Washington that they might be matched up with.
Detroit's on a bit of a run here.
Detroit might be able to sneak in. Then say this, for example, you're a Golden State team. You got the the number 1 overall seed. You went through the Western Conference. You're playing hard. And what is your reward? You have to play KD and Westbrook in the first round. Or let's say you're the Memphis Grizzlies. You got the number 2 seed. No, you've been playing well in the Western Conference. You're doing the same thing as the Warriors doing. And what's your reward? You have to play the defending champion, San Antonio Spurs, in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, those are the matchups that people like to see in the playoffs, Ty. Why get rid of a good thing?
Exactly. You're in this conference based on your proximity to these teams. So it adds that extra incentive, that extra fire to the playoff. And people say, the NBA, these rivalries aren't as tough as it used to be. The players are too buddy-buddy. So when you face a team so many times, it only ignites everything. And, I mean, everything's on the wave, up and down. Okay? The Lakers used to be great, not so great right now. The Knicks, the Celtics.
Sixers.
It's not always going to be like this. You know, who knows what the league's going to look like in a few years where the East may come back and be the dominant conference.
Yeah, we never know. I mean, right now, like you said, just keep it the way it is. I want to see these matchups. I want to see East versus West. I want to know who's the real champion and not the West North versus the West South that was the champion and everything. And it's like combining the NFC and AFC into a playoff structure. Just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. Well, let's move on. Carolina defensive end Greg Hardy just had his case recently dismissed. Now, for those that didn't know, in the beginning of the season, he had a lot of issues. He had a domestic violence case that was going through the process. The commissioner put him on an exempt list, and he was unable to play the 2014 season. Now, he still got his full contract, just over $12,770,000 per game. I repeat that, $770,000 per game. But moving forward, Ty, what should the commissioner do with Greg Hardy in cases like this into the future?
When we're talking about all these legal issues, it's tough to really make a decision, especially when things have been dropped. But it could be seen as a public admonishment of guilt here. You know, it was a settlement. They're saying it was a civil settlement, and that's probably the reason why the accusee, you know, the defendant, didn't show up to the civil trial there, to the jury trial. Now, the best thing for the NFL to do this season, we're still in the offseason here, take your time, wait it out. Because what have we seen in the past? When you act too fast, you screw things up. When you act too slow, you screw things up. We're talking about Ray Rice and the way they levied the punishment against him, and then Adrian Peterson is reacting too slow in terms of how they want to treat that case. So don't act too fast, don't act too slow, wait it out, kind of see what happens. The season, we're not even in really off-season mode yet. See what happens, and then you can still make that judgment.
Well, Judge, Jury, and Executioner Roger Goodell already came out with some type of plan saying that, you know, first offense is 6 games, and after that it's a year or a lifetime ban or something along those lines. But for this case, I think it's very unique because he was going through the process as Commissioner Goodell was trying to figure out what was going on, what was happening. And now as he's approaching his free agency period, how many teams are going to take a chance on him moving forward? If you saw the reports, I mean, the reports were very disturbing.
They were vivid.
They were very vivid, very disturbing. And do you want this guy in your locker room? Even though he might be a good teammate, he might have a lot of demons outside of the football field that can contaminate the chemistry of what's going on. And, you know, a lot of NFL players also say, you know, your best ability is availability. And if you're not there on the team, helping the team out, then just imagine if they would have had him on Carolina when they went up to play Seattle in the playoffs. Maybe that would have made a difference, or they probably would have gave Carolina a better record in the overall season. So it's an interesting case. It's very interesting.
I think it would be important to also mention kudos to Carolina and Ron Rivera for sitting him after that first game and still winning the division.
Exactly.
Wasn't that hard, but, you know, it's a principle.
Winning the division.
Yeah, you look at teams like the 49ers who waited till they were eliminated from contention to cut Ray McDonald and say it's because it's the right thing to do. It's important to also mention, you talked about the 6th game that Goodell has kind of thrown off for the domestic violence protocol there. It's a minimum of 6 games. So it's nice to have that and then work your way up. If I would have to pick, I think you have to at least start with half the season. At least he's really got to send a signal to let players know, not only in the NFL but in other professional, leagues and in society as a whole, that domestic violence is not okay. And these players shouldn't be rewarded for getting themselves in these situations. I know some of them can be tailored and doctored up. She isn't X, but based on the information we have, it looks like these alleged tales have some truth to them.
But even then, Ty, think about it. Let's say you go through the process and you're found not guilty throughout the whole process of domestic violence or domestic dispute or sexual allegations or sexual assault, whatever the case may be, and you're proved not guilty. Now you're already missing some time already. You're already missing those 6 games, and you're already missing half the season for something that you was proved innocent for. Remember, it's innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. So I think the commissioner is going to have to figure out another way. Maybe it's keep it on the exempt list until you figure some things out. But to just flat out just suspend them for 8 games out the gate, it's kind of, it doesn't sit well with me. Let's just say that. It doesn't sit well with me from that standpoint.
Again, I'm not a law expert, but I believe there is he was found guilty out there in some realm of. But
the case was dismissed, though. The case was dismissed. Even public perception said that he was guilty. Mm-hmm. So the public views and getting the reports and documents now, whether it was a civil suit that was settled or this and the other, it was dismissed. It was dismissed. So what are you supposed to do?
Long story short, you talk about what I want on my team. In terms of contracts, you can always give someone some money. You don't want to act too fast and do it too short, because then if you find out it's serious, you're looking at an appeal from the Players Association, and you can't go back on your word and misinterpret what you said.
Exactly.
It's tough, and when it comes to these professionals, it's hard to keep yourself out of these situations, but it's a scenario that we see happen too much.
True. That is very true. Very true.
Let's move on. We see what Adam Silver has going on in the National Basketball Association, and obviously, while very, very popular still, it's no secret that the National Football League is still facing an image issue. Should the NFL adopt some of the measures that Silver's taken with the NBA to be more ahead of the problem rather than reacting to everything that we're seeing?
I think you said it best, Ty. That Adam Silver, ever since he came in, has been very proactive to situations that have come up, instead of reactive like Roger Goodell has done in the past. Now, the NBA with Donald Sterling, with the Sterling case, and that being Adam Silver's first opportunity to say, I'm the new commissioner, he did a good job of stepping up to the forefront to say, we're not going to accept this and we're not going to tolerate this anymore. Now, did he do it a little too hastily? Now, that's another subject. But the reports came out, the stories were here. People were thinking about banning. Players Association and players unions were upset.
It still had to be put up to a vote.
It still had to be put up to a vote. So they were very proactive about the situation. I think that's one thing that the NFL can take from the NBA, of being proactive about what's going on. Now you're seeing all these commercials from the NFL, and it's kind of seemed like we're just trying to save face. We're just trying to save our behind, sort of say. So it's like I said, it's different.
At least they're taking measures. You talk about this new council put together to kind of put this domestic violence, this idea on the table where you start with a minimum of 6 games. For me personally, at least do the research. With the Ray Rice thing, it was like, get the tape. You're the National Football League. I don't see why you can't get the tape. Do the work behind it. Do the grunt work. You have the manpower to really do research and get to the bottom of the story rather than waiting, or God forbid this tape was actually in someone's hands in the league office and they turn the other eye. But it's simple like Spike Lee said. Do the right thing. Do the right thing the first time. And that's how you save face, rather than getting caught potentially lying and having to scramble and look for ways to make yourself look a lot better.
But even then, the NFL has had a lot of issues. I mean, when we're talking about not only Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson, but I mean, Deflategate, Johnny Football,
The Browns,
the
Texans,
Browns, Atlanta. It's just a lot of issues that the NFL has been going through when it comes to public perception. They just keep on stabbing themselves in the back. It's just, I don't know, outside of Ray Rice and outside of Adrian Peterson, those two scandals, I mean, you have, like you said, the city of Cleveland that's just burning itself down just left and right. And we talked about Johnny Manziel last week and Josh Gordon last week, but now Ray Farmer texting during the game, it's just...
What's going on in Cleveland needs to be a reality show because this offseason has been interesting.
Very much so. VH1 needs to hurry up and get on that real soon.
Come on, VH.
For real. But let's have a little fun. Valentine's Day is coming up. And Ty, I know how you like to get smooth and get suave for the ladies once in a while. You know, I remember those days, but those days are long gone. But let's talk about if you did have a woman in your life, Ty, what would be the top 5 gifts you would like to receive from her?
Ooh, that I would like to receive? I mean, time. There's nothing wrong with a nice little meal.
Okay, that's one.
Let's do the candle thing.
Okay, that's 2.
Turn off the lights.
Ooh.
Light it. Just some one-on-one. Some one-on-one. How you interpret that is up to you, but some one-on-one time with the one you love.
Okay. What about anything else in particular? Anything else special that you want to receive? I mean, you like to keep it simple.
That's what I'm about. I mean, you've heard it. It may sound cliche, but just because it's Valentine's Day doesn't mean we gotta wait till this time, to get special. But let's just have that one-on-one. That intimacy.
I feel you, Ty.
How about you, Mike?
A good meal. Any way through a man is through his stomach. So a good meal is always cool. Peace and quiet. Ain't nothing like it. Sometimes you just need peace and quiet.
Amen, bro.
But for me, I like movies. Just real relaxed, real chill.
Just kick back.
Something real smooth. Movies and everything. I like chocolate. I have a big sweet tooth. I love chocolate too as well. And I guess if I had to go for a last one, there's nothing wrong with playing a little Call of Duty too as well. So there's nothing wrong with playing a little PS4. Hopping on Call of Duty, playing Call of Duty for a little bit. But I'm just saying.
You talk about what you like to receive. I mean, what are some things that you would probably gift out to that special someone on that special day?
You know what? As I sit back here and I have our floor director looking me dead in my eyes, I have to make sure I make this right. So, you have to give them what they want. You have to make sure that you prepare something nice. So, you have to listen to them first.
Oh, yes.
You have to listen to them first, and you have to pick up on the little subtle hints.
Sometimes it can be hard, but you got to.
You have to pick up on the subtle hints. Sometimes it's, getting a professional masseuse and coming over and giving her that professional massage that she's wanting for. Maybe it's taking her out to a nice Chinese restaurant. Something of her flavor. Maybe it is chocolate. Maybe it's surprising her with roses on top of her car right before she goes to work.
Ooh, okay.
Something like that. And, maybe it's just showering her with gifts throughout the whole day. Make her feel special. Not nothing like they got on 50 Shades of Grey.
Extreme.
That's a little bit too extreme. I'm trying to keep this a PG show, but
we have to.
But just simple things like that, just to let them know that you love that person. You let them know that you love her and that she's a special lady in your life. What about you, Ty?
I mean, go ahead. You deserve it. You earned it. I mean, you really hit it on the head. What women like? Communication. So when you communicate, you gotta understand, gentlemen, she's dropping hints left and right. And if you can take one of those and run with it and surprise her on Valentine's Day when she thinks that you were just saying, okay, what? And you hit her with that.
You know what's going on.
I roll them. Speaking of which, you talk about the rolls on the car before she goes to work. I can't take all the credit from this. This is something I heard and it just resonated with me. Mm-hmm. Not just one rose.
Okay.
But maybe 2 or 3 dozen roses. Probably your typical red rose. in there somewhere, you throw in a special rose, a white rose, pink, yellow, whatever you want. Why? To let her know that she stands out from the crowd. Like I said, I can't take the credit for it. I can't take all the credit for it, and I'm not gonna put his name out there because the story. It's an interesting story, but you's a bad mother. Just to let her know, you shine, girl. You shine.
Oh, you know what? I like that. Oh, that's real. You know what? If we didn't have that, I might have to use that on a later date, Ty. Hey, whoever came up with that one was real smooth, Ty. But I mean, this is a time, just for you to just appreciate your lady, pretty much. Whoever that special person is in your life, or maybe it's just, simple things for your mom too, as well. Other women.
Can't forget Ma Dukes.
Ma Dukes, other women in your life, a grandma, auntie, niece, or just all the women in your life. Just appreciate them, let them know how much you really care for them.
And if you're in Minnesota, you can always go check out Juicy J, because Ricky will be opening for him February 14th. Is it cliche to do like a lot of the simple things, just dinner and a movie? Is that boring? What did we say earlier? Keep it simple, stupid. What's one of the most important things in a relationship? It's the one-on-one, it's building, it's the communication. So, I mean, when you're making that connection, I believe the simple things should work.
Yeah, simple things should work, but activities too as well, though. Activities. Just something that you guys maybe never done before. Pottery. Art painting.
Oh, pottery. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Those things you never done.
Woo! Ty, this is a PG show, Ty.
I know, but I mean, this topic I keep forgetting.
Oh, wow.
Dang, that's some good water.
Oh, wow, Ty. But like I said, Valentine's Day is coming up, quickly approaching. So for all the fellas that's watching the show, if you have any ideas about how to serenade your lady, please send it to Phirst Contention. Let us know. We're always looking for wonderful ideas, and make sure that they're good ideas too as well.
Ladies, we also want to know what you like. Give us your critiques of some of our suggestions and send us your own, so we can send it out across the airways.
Maybe your man is watching. Maybe you want to drop a subtle hint to him too as well. But let's conclude our show with the best part of our show we like to call We Sports, and it comes from Rashawn Collins, and he asked.
He said a question to fit the Valentine's theme. Excuse me, Rashawn. We touched on this in the past. Can a gay athlete really be welcomed into a pro locker room?
And I think so. I think he can. It depends on if you can produce for that team. It's not about your sexual heritage or orientation, but it's about if you can produce. If you can get on the football field, on the basketball court, hockey rink, or whatever, can you help that team win a championship? And I think that will all circumcede what if he's gay or not.
His sexual orientation there. Agreed. Mainly production, but also respect. I mean, if this is a man who demands respect, who carries himself in a way, I mean, we've all played sports. I mean, it's no lie what the statistics say. I've probably had, a gay person in the locker room while I've been inside there. You know what? I got along with every single person on all of my teams.
Yeah, so
not all of them, but I mean the majority of them. And again, production. And at this point, it's 2015. I like to think we're a progressive society. What you do in your personal life has nothing to do with me, and who am I to pass judgment?
Yeah, so
that's my credo.
It is what it is. So, only one question for our Wii Sports here today. Like Ty said earlier, Shed is already starting his Valentine's Day real early. So, exactly. So for me and for Mr. Taiwo Sosina and everybody that's out here watching Phirst Contention here on Valentine's Day that's coming up, thank you for watching.
Do not forget, like the video.
Thank you.
Like us on Facebook.
Thank you.
Follow us on Twitter.
Again.
While you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Exactly. Once again, for Marvin Banks and for Taiwo Sosina, signing off.
Trey's up.
Let's get it on.
if you single on Valentine's Day, hit me up. Shy Guy 312.
Don't do that to me, otherwise she gonna find me dead.
Actually, we'll probably hang out after Valentine's Day.
Sometimes you gotta keep the cost down, Ty.